right.
Okay, so here you are.
Here we go.
Okay, so this I would say is to this point an example of a Moyo that is going very, very well.
Hmm.
Okay, so the first thing that you want to think about when you're making a Moyo is just how strong is it? How strong and how big. And this one is both very strong and very big. Right? These stones are pretty strong, these stones are pretty strong, these stones are pretty strong, that stone is alright, these stones are alright. So it's pretty strong, and also it's huge, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So the first point of Moyos is that, I mean, you sort of understand this, we've talked about it a little bit, but you don't actually want these points.
Huh.
Right? Which is very counterintuitive, but you don't want them. Okay?
Okay.
So why is this? The point of Moyos is that the stones that make them up are very strong stones, right? The stones that are surrounding this area.
Okay.
Weak, then it wouldn't work. White would break in, and you would have weak stones, and White would counterattack you, and it falls apart, right?
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
They have to be strong, right?
Right. Okay.
So, if you think, we got that part first. Now, think about it a little bit. What do you want to do with strong stones?
Use them for attacking purposes, not for making points. So you want to like drive the enemy into your stones and then make points elsewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you use strong stones for attack.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that essentially in this area, you don't want this area to turn into points. You want it to turn into a fight.
Hmm.
Because any fighting in this area will be something where you have an advantage.
Are you kind of banking on like winning that fight to gain points within there, or you're just...
Yes, essentially you're going to gain your points from the fight. And what gaining points from the fight means, it doesn't mean that your points are necessarily going to come from here. Your points are going to come from the fact that White has a weak group.
Hmm.
And this group should be very weak. So essentially the plan is, and this actually is what happens, White invades.
Right.
Yes?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the way you want to think about this is, starting now, White should never have Sente again.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay? So what you're going to do is you're not going to actually kill this stone. You're going to threaten to kill this stone. Right? And Wright's going to have to run. And he's going to run this way. You're going to place some stones around here to cut him off. And so he's going to have to run this way now.
Hmm.
And you're going to place stones around here to cut him off. And then, you know, we'll eventually connect to something, but you will have gotten a chance to place stones around the triangle points in Sente, and you will completely lay waste to the A area. You'll probably make points around B, right?
Right. Hmm.
Right? But that's sort of secondary. The main point is you want to beat this stone up with a bludgeon, right?
Yeah.
And eventually it's gonna live, but you just want to make its life miserable, right?
Right.
And the way you went about this is very good. Like, you start here, this makes perfect sense. And White runs away, and I was a little surprised. So this Hane, I thought... Can you explain what the thinking behind this was? Because I thought there was an idea, and then you didn't follow it through.
I was using it to lean, so to create strength, and so like the White couldn't run it back in that direction.
What was your follow-up for this move?
I didn't really like... I mean, maybe I could have like cut through, I guess, the group. Maybe I should have pressed through like N8, I guess.
Like,
or
yeah, like this.
N7,
N7, yeah.
Yeah, N7, that's what I meant.
Yeah, look at this. Whoop, that doesn't make any sense. Right, like this. This would be great, right?
Yeah, that would make more sense than what I did. That's very.
This is great.
Yeah.
Right? This is a very, very powerful follow-up.
Mm.
Now, because actually white is still weak. The stones that you're adding are continuing to surround him, all of them, right?
Mm.
And you've actually already started with the plan of getting stuff elsewhere. You've cut off this stone.
Another weak group, yes.
So you've got this really powerful wall facing this direction, right? So you can invade around A or something.
Mm.
That's really strong. Now, you didn't quite do that. You did this, which is less...
It's not as bad, because now it gives white, like, N7, so now he can just break through, and he has an opening, and I'm a bit looser now.
Well, I think this is okay.
Yeah.
Right? This is okay. It's just sort of... This seems so obvious, right? If you were going to do that, I would prefer you do it without leaving a cutting point.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
The reason this has a very specific idea behind it, which you didn't follow up on, which surprised me. But okay, whatever, right?
Right.
Then we do this, and then this move is very good, right? This is the right idea, right? And then we get to this, and this is the part where I was sort of confused, right? Because what was the plan?
Well, my logic was I didn't really see like a clear way to attack those 3 stones in the center, and so I know like, okay, well, if he's gonna live, he's gonna have to like find a friend, and I'm like, well, if I approach D5, then it's
okay.
Blocking off his potential path.
This makes some sense. Okay,
Yeah.
I follow that.
Yeah.
Okay, and how about now?
I was not sure that like the E12 move would work, so I was like, maybe.
What does would work mean?
Stop the connection.
So white's gonna connect straight through your stone?
I mean, no, but I must have read something at the time, I guess. I'm not sure.
Okay. So that's the thing. The way you describe this sounds very optimistic. Yeah?
Right.
And I actually don't disagree with your evaluation. Yes?
Okay.
Like I think this is actually a move that's from a very long distance surrounds these guys. But then you follow it up with just absolute pessimism.
I don't know
Like
why
you
I played that.
completely did 180, right?
Yeah, that's a terrible move. I don't know why I played that.
So you could have played just here.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a bit more like same direction, but a lot closer and more forceful.
You could have done that, or you could have done this.
Just Hane. Yeah, dude. Bro. I don't understand why, like...
Plan, right?
Yeah. Man, why do I play
Yeah,
so many
okay.
moves? Anyways.
Right. So when you play here,
Now he's connected out. He's
what
safe.
is the purpose of this move?
I would imagine
I
it's
know what
stopping
the
him
purpose
from...
is, right?
stop him from making a base, I guess. Or, you know what, actually? I was getting worried about the E17 group of mine getting fully cut off.
Right.
And so I wanted to try to
Absolutely.
link it
You're
up.
worried about these guys. You're defending.
Yeah, I was defending there. That was my thought
That's
process.
100% what you're doing.
Yep.
Right?
I got worried about my group at that point.
Right. So the plan of the Moyo strategy is to attack. It's not to defend. Right? Your groups are all very, very strong, and that's the whole point. Right? The whole point is that your groups are strong, so you want to fight. And we get to this point, and you stop fighting.
What if you're like in the middle of fighting and you realize something that was strong is all of a sudden like getting under
So
in
the
danger?
usual approach,
Kind of flips
the
the
usual
Sentai.
approach, you sacrifice it.
But that would just like destroy the entire left side, and now he's inside my Moyo, and I have no strength to fight anymore.
Okay, so let's say we do this, right?
Like if that E17 group dies, like I feel like this game is beyond over.
Okay, so the E17 group's gonna die. Let's show a variation where this actually happens. All right?
Okay.
And white fights back like this, and let's say the E17 group dies. This it actually looks like it probably isn't going to happen, but let's just assume you bungle this up a little bit. So what do you do about this E17 group? You sacrifice it. You capture here, and you keep the pressure on these guys. This
that doesn't...
is not required for your strategy. Those stones are not important.
Huh. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad when you put it like that.
Right?
Yeah.
These guys are actually... This is actually enough pressure that those guys might die.
Yeah, now it's looking like they're really under pressure. Like, I mean, one more move and they got nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Dude, I would
actually die. Like, I don't actually see how they're going to live now. Because they're running this way, like, what are they running towards?
I mean, you gotta bank on getting those outside moves, though, if you're gonna sacrifice. Like, which I guess you technically will, because that's just how
that's the whole
works.
point, right? I mean...
You know, if you don't get that...
If you have to sacrifice these guys, you sack them. You do not stop putting pressure on this.
It's like, yeah, you're gonna... You can take it if you want, but every move along the way, I'm gonna force you to respond, otherwise, you know...
Right. So the point is, you like these stones because they put pressure on this. That's the reason you care about them? Yes?
Yes.
So you don't care about the stones, you care about the pressure.
True.
Those stones with other stones that also do that, that's okay. It's okay to lose them so long as you can replace them.
Huh. Okay.
Right? So very much this is about sacrifice. Now we do this, and White does this, and the Moyo is kind of gone-ish.
Like, what do you do now? You know? Now you have no way to kill.
Ish, right?
Yeah. You can't really push White around anymore.
Well, how strong is this? Look at all these holes.
I haven't really figured out how to wedge successfully too often. Sometimes it works.
Here's my suggestion. You cut here.
Atari and then wedge
And
and
if
then
White
push
Atari's,
through.
then you pull through here.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And this is your plan. This was the whole plan.
Fair. Still going
Now,
on.
White can try and sort of hang on here by pulling out like this. But then he's got to worry about that cutting point too. Right? So, let's see. Probably you play here. And if he does this, then you cut. He will get away. He will get away with this. He has to sack these two. And he'll be fine. But he's got to find that.
And I guess even...
He might not.
Yeah. Even in
He
all
might
the...
not.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got to be willing to sack those two. He's got to be willing to stretch here. Right? You can also just wedge here and see what happens. You go here, and your plan is to make use of the cutting point somehow. Whatever comes, you're going to do it.
True.
You know, White connects here, you're going to cut, and we're just going to see what happens.
Fair. Okay, so he's not as tight as I thought he was, I guess.
Yeah. It's got some gaps, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, when this happens, so you didn't notice that. That's okay, right? The point the part that really fell apart was here, right? When you immediately backpedaled on your entire plan.
Yeah, don't backpedal on the plan.
Yeah, you got to actually do it, right?
Even if the plan was like, oh shit, I thought I was attacking, but now I'm gonna die. Well, you know what? You can have it, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point of the Moyo plan is you're going to loudly exclaim, "White never gets sente again," right? Now, this was a cool way of doing it. I had a more caveman idea when I first saw this, which was just just go for it.
Just unga bunga across the map.
Yeah, just make him do this and then do this. You know, it's just extremely straightforward, and it looks like it's working, right?
Yeah, maybe there's a gap at like F10, but then even then.
Well, he's gonna run out that gap. That's the plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. This is 100% what you're hoping to do. You're absolutely going to at least attack square very hard.
True.
Right?
Yeah, if white runs down, you're just gonna naturally build.
You're gonna attack square now. You're not actually planning to kill him, right? And eventually, later on, you might even play triangle and make him wonder how to handle that. There's a chance you can catch part of his group or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to do that quite now. You don't want to make white like have an attack against the whole group. If he does, you just if you mess it up and you decide I'm going to do this now, and then you cut and suddenly you realize that your group's going to die, you let it die.
Even then, it's okay.
Right? You attack.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's still okay.
Yeah, this is okay. So look, you killed all of this, right?
Dude, even.
And you've got an attack on this. And your group isn't completely dead yet.
Even
right?
when...
So you can still play. So later on,
man.
White's gonna after White handles this somehow. You can still do this.
Dude, bro, even when you were showing me this example, and I'm like, when you were saying like, oh, if your group's gonna get surrounded, I'm like, well, I'm just probably gonna just try to find life, but you're like, no, sacrifice it again, and it's like, even now, it's like that feels so big.
It's a very hard group to kill, but
dude.
So
it's a very...
because of this, you probably don't want to go for this yet, right? You don't want to go for triangle yet. It's bad timing for it. It's better to wait until this is actually strong before you do that.
It's very mental to be able to try to like give up that like group that you've invested so many stones in, and it looks so big, and it's like I just can't part ways with that group.
But you're not giving it up, you're trading it.
Yeah, it's just very mental. But
right, yeah. But the point is, you gotta understand that sacrifices are not giving something up; they're trading something. You're giving the stones in exchange for something else.
I guess you just don't know what you're getting in return. It's like a mystery box.
Right. But I mean, so this is this Unga Bunga plan, which is actually like you came up with something that was much cooler. Like I just came up with a very bland idea that it should work.
Right.
Right. I mean, this should work.
Right.
I think your moves were better than mine, to be completely honest in this situation. It's very much a commitment issue, and we'll see that in the other two games as well. And I do want to talk about another issue once we're talking about sacrifices here. Yeah, here you messed it up, right? Because this actually helps him fix, because he's got all these cutting points, all these problems. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't peep the cutting points.
You don't actually want to help him fix it.
I think that's a proverb.
You probably didn't realize that he had a problem there.
I really thought he was.
If you don't realize that he has a problem, then you can't say, "Oh, I messed up by helping him fix it." You didn't understand this. But that's another issue. So okay, let's go to this sacrifice part. Here. So, White goes for these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually don't hate this. The point is, what you're doing, let's explain your sacrifice to me. You're giving these guys up in exchange for what?
Well, initially I was trying to read some way to capture the P12, Q11 stones, but I couldn't find it.
Oh, you couldn't capture the A stones.
I figured I would...
You could try for this. I think that might work.
I
So
odd about
Hane
that.
doesn't work. You just,
Couldn't he just keep extending? Extend up?
so he extends and you extend
And then
and he
he
extends and
extends.
you're out here and
Oh,
his whole group
okay. I didn't see the M14
dying.
move at the end. I just saw him connecting up, and I was like, I don't.
Right, but he's connecting up to a group that's dead.
Yeah, misread. I'm bad. Anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
So
But, okay, you went for the sacrifice plan.
yeah, so I
right?
figured I'd try to make it so he could take those stones, and I'll kill that top group anyways. In
Right, right.
exchange.
So you're giving up the square stones to get the triangle stones, and I don't hate this.
I was trying to see if it was equal, but
you did this,
yeah.
and then what do?
Maybe M14. I don't know what I did honestly. What did I do?
Yeah, you went Tanuki.
Oh, did I? Oh.
Yeah.
I guess I thought I was already done.
Right. So, I mean, right, you had a plan, right? You're going to sack these stones, get these stones,
Mm-hmm.
and you did sack the triangle part, but you didn't get the squares.
Maybe I thought I already had it with those two moves.
Right. Well, I mean, this is what happened in the game, and he saved the square.
And then
And you didn't actually lose this game by much.
No, it was literally half a point, I think.
Yeah, it was nothing.
Yeah, I lost by half a
So,
point.
it's pretty interesting just noticing how, like, you had this one,
Dude, I know.
right?
It's such a story of my life.
Like, so what I want to point out is that this Moyo is working perfectly.
Mm.
Yes, and actually, I think White's play here is dangerous.
Mm.
I think White should be very cautious when handling this Moyo. I remember when we were first starting, we did a teaching game, and you built this big Moyo, and I talked about how it might be safer to play, like, all the way inside instead of, like, maybe in here. It might be safer than out here.
I think I remember
Because
the
if you play here, so if you play here and die,
it was his anyways, so.
right, and if you play here and don't die, you can usually sort of live here.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Whereas the point is that this stone is not going to live here. It's going to live by connecting. Which means that black can make it run, and that's what black's hoping to do. You want to make it run so that you can attack everything else. So diving all the way inside might be safer. Or alternatively, reducing from the outside. Like stuff like this.
So, like, let's pretend
Like Bottomless.
So let's pretend like White did something like, I don't know, what would be something that I wouldn't be too sure about? What if he just, like, starts pushing up, like, F14 and he just starts to, like, maybe, again, well, I guess same concept. If he threatens that group, just sacrifice it. Like, what would you play in response? Doesn't look too
Okay, so
obvious.
F14, this is your Moyo plan working. He's trying to live with this. You attack it.
By pressuring close and forcing him to run?
Yeah, so, this actually looks like it might die. You might be able to just kill the whole stupid thing. But, just run out like this. Sure. This works. Right? So if he runs out, he's got to worry about this cutting point. It's going to be very, very annoying to him. You can Hane here if you want, but actually probably don't do that quite yet. Probably keep the pressure. What's good?
You'd want to press him towards the right side, though, correct?
This?
Oh, really?
This looks like fun.
Why?
Right? Because he can't run to these guys, right? So where's he gonna run? He's got to run out this way, or this way.
Yeah, I mean that.
Right. So you're cutting off one of the avenues, or you can do this one instead. It's the same idea.
Sure.
The reason I like this one is it looks like it's Sente.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like White's got to do something about this stone. Right? You got to attack.
Is there any, like, general technique ideas you recommend when you are attacking? So it's like,
Yeah, so the general idea is you look and figure out how he's gonna live, and you interfere.
so it's generally not a within contact play. It's usually look across, see where he can run to, and then like lean.
Yeah, that's usually the better idea. You can also play like definitely not like contact, right?
I mean,
But
yeah.
you can also try and surround him a little more tightly. Like this maybe. This is sort of the kind of move you make if you want to turn this into points.
But that's bad style, right? That's not correct.
Well, it can sort of work because he still has to run.
But now you're giving
You're
him
not giving up the attack to play for, right? My style would much more be something like this, right? You commit completely to the attack and there's no defense involved. But you can sort of try and find sort of a middle of the road move, right? It sort of tries to do both things. You're taking half of the Moyo might turn into points and the other half is used for an attack. This is not necessarily like a bad idea. It's not the way I would handle it. I want to just beat this group up.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, my plan is to go full on beast mode and turn into this guy's worst nightmare. Honestly, this is the more I look at this move, the more I kind of like it. So if he runs, you just cut.
Does that work?
Well, so this does not work for what? Oh no, it doesn't work. I'm just wrong. Okay, forget that.
I was just saying.
Wrong.
Yeah, I was saying. Whoa, I didn't know you could attack it like
No,
that.
I'm just wrong. It doesn't work. For some reason I had read white this way, but actually white goes this way and he's fine. Okay. Yeah. No, forget that. Yeah. So yeah, but the plan is still the same, and even if the cut doesn't work immediately, it's definitely something white worries about. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna lead to extremely painful endgame for this group.
Okay.
Right? He's got to keep defending or something. It's very annoying. Like this corner can become tiny because he has that stupid cutting point. Like that's not quite right. He doesn't have to defend at 13 now, but if you hunt at A, that threatens the double Atari.
Yeah, so he has to do something with that later.
Yeah, so he can try and fix it like by connecting this side, but then that means you get like maybe even this works. You have to read that. If not, you've at least got this. And likewise, this is still becoming very, very small.
True.
Yeah. So the fact that he has this weakness and you're sort of damaging the liberties near that weakness is actually quite valuable. But you probably don't do this yet because you want to focus on beating these guys up.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
That's the purpose, yeah.
Okay. Right. So again, like your objective is not really to kill this group. Right? Your objective is probably the points that are going to come from this attack. Like very often when this happens, you end up getting no points from your Moyo, and you end up somehow getting points here. And you can almost see how that even happens, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because white's got to run, and you're going to find some move around square, and then he's going to have to defend this guy, right? Sort of running out that way, and it means he didn't answer square. And then you can sort of beat up the corner, you know?
Okay. All right.
Moyo is. Like, it's nowhere near this.
So you're kind of like baiting white, saying like, look at what I'm going to get unless you do something, and you want him to jump in. And at that point,
you want him to jump in. I mean, if he never jumps in...
Yeah, what if he doesn't?
Then you take it, right? And this is why it's so important that the Moyo has to be huge, right? It has to be strong so you can beat him up when he does come in. And it has to be big so that he loses if he doesn't.
Yeah, you know.
It has to be big enough to take the whole, to just win the game if he doesn't come in. And this Moyo so far is absolutely checking all of the boxes. It's very strong and very big. Which is why I thought this was actually going very, very well for you. Shall we look at the next game?
Yeah, let's do it.